My guest today is Omar Ramadan. Omar is the CEO and co-founder at Blockcast, which looks absolutely fascinating. It's all about empowering anyone to access media experiences, enriching media experiences anywhere in the world. We'll learn all about this today. Welcome to the show, Omar.
Thank you, Andy. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Pleasure to have you here, Omar. Let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. It would be cool if you could please introduce yourself. Love to hear some of your personal, professional backstory. What have you been doing in the lead up to co-founding a Blockcast?
Yeah, so, just a brief intro. I'm Omar, co-founder of Blockcast. We're a next generation CDN, a content delivery network that's addressing the monopoly control over mass media distribution that limits the quality of streaming and downloading speeds for everyone today, and the cost of data preventing us from connecting the 4 billion people in the world without broadband. I've been working in the community operated wireless network space for the past 10 years, building technologies that allow for communities that don't have good internet coverage or cell phone reception to run their own infrastructure. We started as a research project at UC Berkeley and commercialized a technology that we ended up selling to Facebook Connectivity and their whole internet.org initiative. We open sourced what was Magma. It's a 5G open source core network and a open hardware solution that ended up being picked up by Helium and allowed them to essentially franchise T-Mobile, Telefonica, and helping people own their own connectivity experiences, and also helping the industry expand coverage in a new model that is lower cost and provides people with superior experiences. It's through that journey, a little bit before Helium had picked it up, we had kind of our first deployments in some of the most challenging places to connect to the internet in the world, one of which was in the Congo, where we had an inland island with 500,000 people. And it was amazing to be able to put up, 4G connectivity using 10 different cells. But the challenge was the actual internet connecting all those stations is really limited. The only options we had were satellite or getting a long distance wireless link across the border from Rwanda. Cost of a megabit per second is $2,000. We're only able to get 4 megabits per second, which is barely enough with the way that media is distributed today for a single person to watch an HD stream. That had me dig into the problem of backhaul and understand a lot more about how companies like Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google distribute media, and uncovering the monopolies and the extreme control over the scaling internet infrastructure, that if we had been able to put one in that community, we could have helped scale that one stream so that everyone could watch media as much as their heart desires. But the way that the industry works today is really, there are a lot of gatekeepers. And that infrastructure also doesn't work over these really constrained links. So if you want to run a CDN over a satellite network, it just doesn't work today.
So you guys talk about, you call this, I'm sure there are a number of different problems that you're starting to identify, Omar, but one of them is you call it on your website, I think, the internet capacity crunch, which is, and you talk about that's what people experience when they're watching a video and it's buffering, and it particularly happens with live events, like live sporting events can be particularly susceptible to that buffering. Not that I've ever done this, but if you're trying to stream like a pay-per-view event without paying for it, those streams apparently, they're terrible as well, which you'd expect. But just talk us through why. I guess that's one part of the problem.
Yeah,
right?
there's no question that today people have shifted from broadcast television to internet streaming for consuming mass media events like major sports and so forth. And while it's seemingly given people more freedom to watch what they want, it's a lot more resource intensive to streaming over the internet, where everyone's watching the same content, than it is to just broadcast it once and have a million people tune into it. So the way it works today is, instead of having that one stream going out to everyone, every person has their own unique stream that they have to download, and they pull from the nearest server to them. That's what a CDN is doing. But the problem is, these CDNs, which are essentially storing the copy of the stream close to them, it's really restrictive where you can put these devices. It's a monopoly, effectively, that runs CDN today. And they control which ISPs and which locations can install these appliances. And even then, the telcos themselves, major telcos, are having quite public battles with CDNs about the ability to put more appliances in their network, and also just kind of the business arrangements around it. Like, you're putting this box in my network, you're not paying me for it, you're not letting me put it where I want it. And the end result is that you have major congestion in ISPs with everyone trying to access the same stream. And you have to go over a bunch of routers and different networks to get to that nearest server. And everything gets congested along the way. Versus with a broadcast, we could have just sent it once and everyone would have gotten the stream with the highest definition. So to reduce costs, what a lot of ISPs will do even is they'll throttle the connection speed to the CDN. So even if your streaming service and you're paying extra money for that 4K streaming, your ISP simply won't allow it. They'll choke the links because those are costs that they have to pay. So ultimately, as end users, we have to pay the bill. The streaming providers make us pay for it for higher quality content, and the ISPs pass those costs along to us as well. And when it comes to the big game, our streaming experiences aren't, what we expect. And to the extent now that it's even becoming a matter of national security in some countries, with everyone now moving online, and the event of, say, a national emergency where, the president has an address to all the citizens in the world and in the country, and everyone's trying to go on that stream, the sheer pressure of all these duplicated streams can lead to network outages. And we've seen that over and over again with Netflix when they launched live streaming, or when I was at Facebook and they started, Instagram Live, and Lady Gaga had 50 million people tuning into the same stream. The network just collapsed. So in countries like India, they're looking at how we can make internet streaming work more like broadcasts, out of interest of their national security.
And explain, though, Omar, just help people understand. It'd be useful maybe if you explained, who can use Blockcast, who it's for. I understand there's, it can work at the individual level, for organizations, for other CDNs presumably as well. So maybe just explain that piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, there's kind of two parties here. It's the developers or the streaming platforms or even other CDNs who are using this infrastructure. And today it's owned and operated by a single entity, but we're allowing for anyone to run these devices. And the unique spin that we're putting on it is that we're capitalizing on the transition to TV 3.0 that's happening around the world, such as ATSC3 here in the US, or native IP DVB in Europe and other parts of the world, that allows for broadcast stations to transmit data. And using the power of DPIN, we help monopolize this efficient medium for mass data delivery. And individuals run appliances on their home network, data centers, that can receive these signals and help propagate them into their networks. using one-to-many distribution. So, it's been a slow rollout for TV 3.0, and that's because a lot of people don't have antennas, don't have coverage, and the internet has some broadcast capabilities that are local to your ISP. ISPs don't hear broadcast traffic in the same way they allow for regular, HTTP traffic to traverse their network boundaries. So we empower the individual to run this appliance in their ISP that can take advantage of local broadcasting and much more efficiently run appliances in there that can help scale access to mass media, downloads, and so forth. And you, as an operator, are paid for your capacity. And we don't really distinguish between an individual or an ISP who's running it. Anyone who has the means to do so, it's completely permissionless. And the broadcast side is deployed at TV stations, satellite networks, or even it can be run from a data center. And the combination of the over-the-air broadcast coverage as well as the peer-to-peer DPIN broadcasts that we're doing, is really opening up television broadcast infrastructure for anyone who wants to reach large audiences and for individuals who want to be a part of, this infrastructure to speed up internet resources for their community and even save on their own data bills. You have a bunch of devices that need software updates. Rather than having to pay for data consumption for every single one of your boxes, you can run something in your house and you get pushed the media that you need, the software update, TV shows that you're subscribed to, and you can, save on your data.
Right. Makes sense. Thank you, Omar. It'd be useful also just explain how Blockcast leverages blockchain technology to help facilitate the content delivery, and I suppose validate the transactions, network governance, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we see ourselves as decentralizing content delivery, not there's a big difference between peer-to-peer content delivery, which is like decentralized content delivery, versus helping CDNs and infrastructure coordinate on the delivery of services. So we sit at
deepen, yeah.
So it's akin to how Helium allows for wireless networks to extend their coverage. Blockcast allows for commercial CDNs or for content providers to extend their audience reach and infrastructure using blockchain and essentially controlling the provisioning of services and controlling the billing, essentially tracking how much every single peer is contributing to the delivery of data, helping to enforce the quality of that service, making sure that nodes don't go down during the middle of a stream. So using a combination of economic incentives and control plane logic to maintain a high quality of service using excess capacity that people are running in their home, and essentially taking these TV stations and different operators of infrastructure and allowing them to function as a single cohesive network.
Yeah, and just explain how that works then, the marketplace for, I guess, offering up that extra capacity. So obviously, the bigger data centers or companies are much more likely to have larger amounts of extra capacity, but some individuals would as well, and they are able to offer up that capacity to the marketplace, which is that's correct, right? How does that work, Omar?
Yeah, we have, there's a lot of CDNs in the world. There's a few hundred, maybe only 5 or 6 are responsible for 80% of traffic.
Yeah.
So, what we're doing is allowing for CDNs to interconnect with one another. So this marketplace allows for, first of all, existing CDNs or anyone who wants to create a CDN to participate. And, they can invite individuals who meet their quality and, security requirements and so forth to join their network, much in the same way that Helium, allows for expansion of the T-Mobile or Telefonica network, and allows for, telcos to join. We allow for CDNs to join, and essentially, every CDN is differentiated in, the software that they use and where they operate and so forth. They can put up, their capacity through the marketplace, and it provides a expedient way for folks who want to deliver content to folks in, a certain part of the world, let's say Southeast Asia, to put out a bid and say, I want to deliver, 20 megabit per second stream to 100,000 users in the Philippines on the 12th of November. This is the most I'm willing to pay. What are CDNs that are willing to take this contract? And essentially they can get bids from different providers. Blockcast is operating one CDN, but we have a number of commercial CDNs who are already starting to interconnect with us. And you can select the best one that meets your criteria. And when that contract is created, it gets pushed out to all the participating nodes, and they can receive requests from, regular users who are trying to access that stream. And, we control, all of the log aggregation, anonymize it, keep everything secure. In particular, we also have, boxes that are rated for the security requirements of CDNs. Confidentiality is a big obstacle for adoption of Web3 CDNs, and that, operators could potentially spy on users. So, we are qualifying node operators and allowing them to participate in a number of CDN DAOs effectively, and for those DAOs to offer their services in a marketplace style setting for whoever, whatever platform, streaming platform developer would like to reach an audience.
And explain, Omar, where are you in terms of, I guess, the ultimate, product roadmap or rollout of everything you need to start to make this work at scale? I know that journey will be constantly ongoing, but just give us a sense of how far along you are.
We've got, first of all, this core technology that can take web traffic, which is HTTP one-to-one server user oriented data transfer, and it is capable of receiving those requests, and instead of responding back to one client, it broadcasts out the response to all the nodes on the network in, areas where they're interconnected. And that is a groundbreaking piece of technology that allows for existing applications to leverage much more efficient broadcast streams in CDNs and ISP networks. So we're right now, that is we have a number of POCs that are running in kind of private networks, and we're starting to right now open up our community product, which is the actual CDN that allows people to run the software. We just launched our community product maybe 2 weeks ago now, and we're going to be inviting folks to participate in a developer network at the end of the year, and an ability to start challenging nodes that we've got up and running right now. So the actual nodes themselves are hardened and tamper proof. So we're not, for the majority of major streaming platforms, they have strict security requirements. So we're going to be starting a pre-order for these devices in the coming weeks, and folks can right now, we're going to be launching our Discord in a week, and helping people to start downloading our software that can challenge the existing nodes that we have online, and pre-order their own device to start delivering traffic. So it's a dev net. It doesn't have a lot of the functionalities on chain. We are working closely with the industry in CDN and content providers on the marketplace dynamics and how everything gets settled there. So it's an opportunity for us to engage the community, get them to start contributing their resources, earn points, and build a reputation on the network that will ultimately get converted to tokens as we put more and more of that functionality on chain. So a lot of exciting developments coming this quarter. Inviting folks to, check out our Twitter and the Discord channel that will be available for them to get, the first opportunity to pre-order the devices and start participating early, where there's rewards for kind of the early participants.
Yeah, we'll just, as we finish up this part of the podcast, Omar, just for people that want to stay up to date with what you guys are building at Blockcast, and indeed maybe be one of those early participants and participate in the rewards, the incentives available for those that are willing to get involved early. Just what's the best place for people to do that? What should they do? Where should they go?
Right now, our Twitter, which is BlockcastNet, is the best place for information. And there's links there to our website, blockcast.network. You can join our community and subscribe essentially for the drop for our Discord and some of the software that they can start running really soon.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, time to finish up this episode, Omar. We're going to do that by running you through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Just going to run some questions at you, Omar. I just want you to give me quick, snappy answers, hot take style. Question 1 for you. Let's see what you have to say is, where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
Bitcoin is a store of value versus other chains are more focused on utility. So, we're building on Solana, and the transaction throughput, the programmability of it is, lacking in Bitcoin. So, definitely a proponent of diversification, and there's some really awesome, projects that folks should check out.
Yep, very well said. All right, what would you say is your firmest conviction crypto opinion, Omar?
the killer application for crypto is deepen, hands down. It's the way in which we will bring institutional adoption and money flows into blockchain, and it's internet infrastructure, and that powers it's internet financial infrastructure that will power the internet's infrastructure.
Yes, yes, indeed. Very well said. Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. 10 years is a long time in crypto, as you know. But anything you like here, Blockcast, Deepen, what does it look like in 10 years' time?
That's a great question. I think when it comes to internet broadcasting, that doesn't exist in the internet today while it existed in early versions of the internet. And it's radically more efficient to broadcast data so that one stream can reach multiple participants. I think within the next 10 years, we'll see that shift fully happen where, you can broadcast over the air or over the internet to reach audiences much more efficiently. That we'll also see this infrastructure being run by individuals. The control over television broadcast and internet will shift from, the major, traditional media operators and companies that run it today to being run by communities and independent networks like the internet's designers originally intended.
Yes, indeed. And it brings us to our final question, rather nicely, Omar, which is, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
I like Mr. Robot. It's
Nice. Yes.
Not only is Rami Malek Egyptian, but it pictures the what's at stake here, and people's personal freedoms are controlled by controlling the media infrastructure. And I think it's not going to be as no crime involved in it, but I think that we'll see through the proliferation of permissionless networks, a revolution in which people take back control over their banking, over their telecom and television distribution in a way that will level the playing fields. And I feel like the one of the enablers in that, having seen the adoption of decentralized wireless take off, and just keen to see more and more sectors become decentralized.
Yes, indeed. Very well said. Thank you, Omar. It was great talking to you today. I love the Mr. Robot shout out. Yeah, it was like maybe a few years ahead of its time even, but Mr. Robot, so prescient, so irrelevant, still a great watch. Close it out, Omar, by just telling people where they can find you on X, on Twitter, wherever else you like to hang out. And of course, again, just tell people where they can learn all about Blockcast and what you guys are building.
Yeah, check me out. First of all, I post, alphas around the CDN industry on my personal Twitter, Ali Ramadan, and our company page, Blockcast.net, as well. We'll have links to our Discord, our community platform, and you can go there, subscribe for the latest updates. And it's there's something for everyone to do here. So if you want to be part of building the future of the internet and scaling the way that people access data, check us out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Omar. All the best, and bye for now.
Thank you.